my name is Brooklyn Weitzel, and today I will cover the importance of adopting pets rather than buying from breeders. Do you know how many animals are killed each year in shelters? According to ASPCA.org, every year approximately 1.5 million shelter animals are euthanized. That's approximately 670,000 dogs and 860,000 cats. I chose this picture on the left because of the facts that it gives. So every 8 seconds, a shelter animal is euthanized. More than 10,000 animals are put to sleep every day. Only 10% of shelter animals have been spayed or neutered. Less than 2% of cats are returned to owners, and only 20 to 30% of cats and dogs are adopted from shelters or rescues. And I thought that this was a really good fact because only 10% of shelter animals are spayed or neutered, which is like a good fact for why overpopulation with animals is so big. So if you care about our world's pets, then give me a chance to explain why adoption is so important. So adopting rather than buying from a breeder will lower the amount of homeless animals on the street and in the shelter, along with providing funds to the shelters to care for these animals. So what exactly is the problem? Not adopting will lead to overpopulation in these shelters. This can lead to animals being killed just to make room for more animals to come into the shelters. These animals are killed after a certain amount of time. If they are not killed, they are miserable and they don't receive the proper love and care that they deserve. Buying animals will increase breeding levels and it will lower adoption levels. This will in turn increase the amount of animals in shelters, and there will be less funding to shelters to care for these animals. PETA.org states that all breeders feel the animal overpopulation crisis, and every time someone purchases a puppy or a kitten instead of adopting from an animal shelter, homeless animals lose their chance of finding a home and will be euthanized. So what is the solution? The easy solution would be to adopt animals rather than buying them from breeders. Adopting will make room for new animals, less animals will be killed, and funding for shelters will increase. You can give an animal a second chance for love and care that they deserve by adopting. And you can help raise awareness by educating pet store owners, donating to shelters, or join or start a local awareness group. So adopt, don't shop. Do you know what a puppy mill is? HumaneSociety.org says puppy mills are factory-style breeding facilities that put profit above the welfare of dogs. These dogs live in extremely poor conditions. They receive improper medical care and they are often very sick during their time in the mill. The moms are kept in cages and they are bred over and over and over again. They receive no human companionship and love while they are in the mills. And after they are no longer profitable, breeding dogs are killed, abandoned, or sold at auctions. So when you adopt, you are rescuing a dog. KittenCoalition.org says that approximately 7.6 million companion animals enter shelters each year from abandonment. There are about 6,000 documented cases of dog abuse that occur every year, and the older, neglected dogs need loving homes also. Rescuing not only gives these dogs a second chance at a good life, but it also makes you feel good that saving its life. So what are the consequences of buying instead of adopting? Buying will increase breeding levels, leading to more animals in shelter being neglected and sometimes eventually killed. There will be less funding to these shelters to care for these animals. More animals will go homeless, and good animals won't receive their deserved love and care, and there will be more and more puppy mills. So the benefits of adopting. Adopting will provide more animals with loving, caring families. There will be more funding for shelters to care for these animals. It will provide room for more animals to come into the shelters. Less animals will be killed and homeless. You will be rescuing a loving animal, and some people prefer to rescue a trained animal already instead of having to train them themselves. So now that you know to adopt, let's talk about what you should do before. Research the breeds of animals that you would like. Know what kind of pet you want, whether it be a cat, dog, bird. Would you like a smaller dog or big one, depending on your living environment? Big dogs should need a yard to run in. Do you want a more active or more mellow pet? Do you have kids or other pets to get along with? And do you have a good reason for getting a pet? Whether it be a companion pet, service animal, whatever your reason, make sure it's a good one. Can you afford it? Animals need food, shots, and make sure you can afford the vet bill when something comes up. And do you have the time to care for it and train it? So these are my dogs, Max and Diesel. Neither of them were adopted per se. Max came in because his mom was poisoned and she was giving him up to the shelter, so I was able to save him. Diesel was our first dog, which we got from a woman my boyfriend's mom knew. So those are my puppies. Max is a German Shepherd Husky. He's 13 weeks old. And Diesel is a German Shepherd Blue Heeler. And he's 2 years old. So, adopting a pet from an animal shelter rather than buying from a breeder will lower the amount of homeless animals on the street and in the shelter. It will also provide the funding to the shelter that they need, and less animals will end up killed in the long run. Adopting will provide an animal with a loving, caring family that they need and deserve. Rescuing and giving an animal a second chance at this is something that every human should do. Shelters are not a place for a pet, so if you care about the lives of these animals, choose to adopt, don't shop. Does anyone have any questions? You have to ask questions.
No. Well, like when you said adopting, don't most animal shelters give them their shots in the beginning and neuter or spay them? Because I heard you say something about that, but
yeah, most when they come in as puppies, most animal shelters will give them.
And even when they're older?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And the local place is a no-kill facility, correct?
Yes.
So.
Kootenai and Benoit are both no kills. So.
Yeah. Oh, Kootenai is?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you for listening to my speech.